Hey, Shelley.
We completed. Thank you so much.
It's on now.
Okay, terrific. So is everybody good on the rules? I see some people without cameras on, so we'll try to call on them later.
I turned my camera on, but you're about to see me consume breakfast. So if that's what turns you on.
No, that's okay. We don't have to watch you eat breakfast. We'll know you're there. So I want to say that this is a little bit different for those of you who have been coming to what we have called the summer seminars, usually held in the month of August. We have delayed those because of the COVID situation. And so we're getting a late start. We like for this to be when the officers are just starting to work in their new year, and we try to hit some highlights on some things they could be working on that they might have forgotten in pets. So we are calling this year the Vibrant Club Workshop. What we're trying to achieve with this, because you're going to see some reoccurring thoughts in the 4 presentations this morning, because we're trying to get you to think in terms of being a team, using a team approach to your club. And that doesn't mean that you just have a membership chair and that person just goes off and does their thing, and you have foundation chair and that person goes off and does their thing. It means that they all know that they coexist and they should work together. And our public relations person who's going to be on here this afternoon is going to help us tie all that up together, because as we know now, after about 8 years of having public image in our curriculum and in our training modules, it's so important to get people to understand what Rotary is. And the better we can do that, the better we will work with members and getting members and getting people to give to the foundation. So it's a little bit different, but we hope you're going to enjoy it. It's more of a, you know, we've been, in the past, I would say we've been more of a rah, rah, rah. And this is going to be more of a, let's see if we can help you have a better club. And so we'll see how it works. And I think Greg's got a poll for us to begin with, and then I'll put Shelley on here. So, Greg, there is this, okay, I can't answer. So you see the question, what area are you weakest in your club? Okay, keep voting.
Yeah, half the people have voted.
Okay, come on, vote everybody, so we can get a good poll. So people think they got public image covered. Okay. All right, we're up to 21. Everybody polled? Everybody answered?
Yeah, I think that's probably all that's going to be, because
Okay, you're going to share the results? Okay, so membership and youth services are the winners of weakness. That's not a very good way to say that, is it? Okay, well, all right. That wasn't what I thought the answers would be. So terrific. All right, Greg, if you'll end that poll. So our first presenter this morning is Shelley Christian, and y'all probably know Shelley. She's been around doing things in the district for a long time. She's a very fast talker. And so she's going to talk to us this morning about membership. And Greg, I can still see this poll. Can everybody still see the poll? Shelley, if you want to share your screen with your PowerPoint, then we'll get started. And thank you for doing this. I've asked all these presenters to get out of their comfort zones. So Shelley, it's for you.
Okay, good morning. So can everybody see the screen that says Be a Vibrant Club? Okay. So welcome to Be a Vibrant Club and our membership. And I'm Shelley Christian for those who I have not met, and I'm your membership chair this year. So we are doing things a little differently. We're not gonna keep saying, oh, go do something, or this is how badly we've done. We're gonna talk about what a vibrant club is. And honestly, I think if your club is really vibrant, membership will take care of itself. You're going to attract people because they want to be in part of something that they see that's making a difference and that people are having fun doing. So as we start, we're going to be asking some questions. And I realize some of y'all are assistant district governors, some are filling different positions, but the first question we always ask is, what is your club like? And for those that are helping with multiple clubs, what are your clubs like? Are they lively? Are they fun? Is it diverse? Are your clubs open to new ideas? Are your members involved? And then how can our clubs become more vibrant? And we're going to talk about that all morning in different ways, from public image to membership and foundation. There it goes. Sorry, I was trying to get the slide to move. So what is a vibrant club? It engages its members. And this doesn't mean if you've got 100 members that you have 10 that do everything. This means having the majority of your members involved, hoping everyone has a position that they feel like that they have a place in your Rotary Club. You're conducting meaningful projects. Are they meaningful to your community? Are you meeting the needs in your community? Are you meeting the needs of your members, or what your members think you need to be doing in the community? You're going to try new ideas. New ideas. Sometimes you're going to try a new idea and it may not work. You may fall flat on your face. It's okay. You may try something else, or someone else may try the same idea you did and knock it out of the park. Different areas, because we do cover such a vast area, different areas may do well with different projects. Our last one, engages the Rotary Foundation. The Rotary Foundation is the heart of Rotary. And the more you learn about the foundation and the more your members learn about the foundation, the more they will understand what Rotary really is. And money's always a great incentive. So as you're giving to the foundation, as you're educating about the foundation, you also can apply for grant money, which allows you to make bigger impacts in your communities and internationally as well. Anybody have any questions on anything so far? I love Zoom. It's the deafening silence that just gets you. So why is this good for our club? So here is actually a picture of our Fairfair Glade Club. And I thought this was an excellent example of how they met a need in their community by being very reactive to something that was going on. 7,000 masks. That's huge. So, you know, they talked to thousands of people and promoted Rotary in their area by giving out masks. There's lots of things that being a vibrant club can change. Rotary has changed. The flexibility of Rotary clubs makes it easier than ever to make changes that will enhance the club experience and attract new members and keep current members involved. There's lots of tools out there on My Rotary that can help with that as well. And we'll talk a little bit more about My Rotary in a few minutes. Whoops, sorry, wrong way. There we go. I love these signs. Best practice for making long-range plans. I am a huge proponent of making long-range plans and writing them down. A lot of times we have ideas about what our club should be doing and where we want to be in 3 to 5 years, but we don't write it down and nobody tracks it. At that point, if you're not writing it down, it's just an idea. When you start writing it down, it becomes a goal and a plan. So you have to ask yourself, where do we want our club to look like in 3 to 5 years? Do we want more diverse membership? I would say yes, that's probably all clubs, that we need to be focusing on diversity activity. Are we interested in getting our community more involved in club activities? Are we looking ways to conduct more meaningful projects? Making a plan, setting goals, and having somebody help monitor those goals is very important. Sometimes we make the goals, but then nobody ever goes back and keeps us updated on where we are with those goals. So we're talking about strategic planning, which our district actually has a strategic planning group that can come out to help your club plan. And it can actually capture your members' priorities regarding activities and ideas, changes that and implementation to achieve our goals. An annual visioning session can help you assess your club, and decide what needs to change. So ask yourself, what's your vision for our club? What kind of changes do you want to make? And if anybody wants to put notes into chat or ask questions, please do so. What long-term goals do we want to accomplish in the next 3 to 5 years? There is a Rotary health check and strategic planning guide, again, on my Rotary. Those are things that would be very easy to use. And if anybody wants copies of those, I can email them if you will let me know after the meeting. Developing annual goals. My Rotary actually can help you put in mini goals that helps you achieve those annual goals all year long. Club members can also track club progress toward goals in Rotary Club Central and update our committees and members regularly. I do not think that Rotary Club Central is used to the extent it should be. It is not difficult to use. It's easy to see where you are in your goals as long as you go in and update it, and it does not take long to do the updates most of the time. So do you know what your club's annual goals are? Do you have any idea how those goals are set? So, and if you don't know, then I will probably be asking. And I love this picture too. This is John Downs picking up donuts for our polio day for the Purple Pinky. Look at all the donuts.
Shelley, there's a question from Bonnie. When is the best time to schedule a club visioning event?
I would say anytime. We just need to get with the district and have a group come out anytime. I would say then have it reviewed annually and maybe actually have the club visioning event still done every 3 to 5 years, even then. Beth, you did our club visioning a while back. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, Beth fell off. Her computer died. She's coming back on.
All right, Debbie, I think you had done some of the club visioning.
Ivan Jones from the Rotary Club of Shelbyville is our visioning coordinator, and you can reach out to him. He's on DACDB, or you can get a copy of the district directory and find his contact information to schedule club visioning. With COVID, I'm not exactly sure how we would go about doing this. It would be a little difficult to do by Zoom, but either way, Zoom or in person, it can be done. We have a handful of clubs that are on their second round of visioning and love it. And I will just give you a little preview. I will also be talking about visioning in the next session on foundation.
Thanks, Debbie, because I just think visioning is very important. But I think sometimes the clubs do the visioning, but then they don't follow up with it and keep up with what they're doing. So it's good to know that some of them are actually on their second round of visioning.
Hey, Shelley, let me talk to that. You know, a lot of times people make goals, but if you don't create an action plan with a time frame, then you're wasting your time. A goal without an action plan is just a dream. And if you don't create action plans and timelines and assign people to be responsible for parts of it, it's never going to happen.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page there. If you don't write it down and you're not going back to monitoring it, it's just an idea or a dream, as Greg says. Okay, so best practice on holding engaging meetings. I really think this is something all of our clubs need to work on. And again, being a vibrant club, this is very important. You don't want your members bored every time they come to a meeting. So are your meetings lively, informative? Do your members get excited about those club meetings? If they do, they'll keep coming back. We can make sure our meetings are engaging by using the member satisfaction survey. Again, it is on my Rotary, but we can send it out to you if you need. The survey results can actually tell you what your members like and don't like. I'm a big fan of actually submitting a survey and asking your members to fill in maybe a topic that they would like to hear about or a speaker that they're aware of that they would like to hear. One way to actually boost member attendance is to vary meeting formats. You could hold some meetings online, mix meetings with service projects or social gatherings. Of course, right now with COVID, social gatherings are on Zoom, it seems like. But we're still doing some service projects. A lot of those, it seems to be outside where people can do the social distancing a little easier. So you have to ask yourself, what is engaging? What do our members like about our club meetings and board meetings and assemblies? And how can we improve those? Does anybody have any suggestions on how to improve their club meetings? Greg, we don't have anybody submitting anything? Okay.
Nope. Nope. No,
Yeah, I was good at that, yeah. What kind of meeting format?
it's early in the morning, you know.
Mhm. So, and engage your members in meetings. I don't think this is sometimes something that we don't do. We have a committee or we have somebody who's in charge of meetings, but we don't engage a lot of our members in meetings. Maybe we ask each member to be in charge of one meeting, at least in a year. If your club is really big, it's hard to have every member do that. But if you have a smaller club, have them have a meeting or two, have them be in charge of the speaker, or maybe have them be the speaker, or come up with a different format for the meeting. Maybe they want to interview some Rotarians on projects that they've done, how long range. We have our district, I always laugh and say, our district is the best district in the world. Our clubs are fantastic in our district and they have a long history. Some of the new members may have no idea what your clubs have done in the past, what kind of impact that they've made. A good club meeting might be to actually interview some Rotarians that have been there for a while and talk about some of those projects. Look, Debbie, it's you. Best practice, develop relationships within the club. I want to tell you, develop them within the club, but develop them outside of the club and in the district and in our zone as well. Those are friendships that I value greatly, and I love our club members. I know our club members. If you have clubs that don't know each other very well and you have new members, I highly suggest using the Rotary app called Cook for Rotary. It'll get you into DAC-DB. And in ours, we always have pictures of our club members. So I can go through, if we have a new member, I have their picture, I have their contact information. It makes contacting new Rotarians very easy. It also helps me relate to them because I see their picture and then I know their name so I can talk to them at a meeting. People who enjoy their clubs are more likely to be active members. If we're doing something fun, I'm hanging out with friends in our Rotary Club to do that. One way to keep members in contact, connected in the club, is to organize social and networking events that give us a chance to know each other better. Not all meetings have to be set meetings with a speaker. And it says, and outside your club. So it doesn't always have to be a club meeting. Ask members, it says how they can create opportunities to get to know each other, develop professional connections. Again, I think we can use our Rotary meetings or outside of meetings to do that. We have a Rotarian that I just talked to his daughter a little while back, and she lived about an hour away. She tried her best to get him to move closer to her as him and his wife were getting older, and he did not want to move because he did not want to leave his Rotary Club and his Rotary friends. That's how important Rotary is to him. And those connections that he has are so strong, he did not want to leave. That's the connections we want to develop now.
Hey, Shelley, I got a chat here from Marcy from Fairfield Glade. She says this past Tuesday, our membership chair had Bring Your Spouse to Rotary Day, and they played some games. It was great, she said.
Oh, that's awesome. Any ideas anyone has and meetings that go great, please send them to me. I'll send them out in an email all across the district. All of our clubs are looking for new ideas. Marcy, thank you. I will put that on.
Kelly, I've got one.
Okay.
We just started in our club. We have a guy who's really a clown. Do y'all have any clowns in your club? And they do really good meetings if you put them in charge. You were talking about putting somebody in charge who's not normally in charge. And so once a month, he has been doing, it's a way to get Rotarians to know each other better. And so last time he said, what was your most embarrassing moment? And he let them come to the microphone and tell their most embarrassing moment, and we just laughed our heads off. So that was really just we just do it once a month, and it's really funny.
I am adding it to my list. A couple of ones that we have done, we invited the 911 director and one of the main managers of our 911 to tell us about some of the craziest 911 calls that they had had. They are still laughing 2 years later about some of the stories that were told that day. It is amazing at what people can do who end up having to call 911 sometimes. Okay, moving on. Match members to activities of their interests. A little while back, we were in a membership committee meeting, and one of our members said, you know, when they go out to do an environmental project, all of their young members are right there and they're really involved and they're really excited, but when they go to read at the school, they have a hard time getting those younger members involved in it. That's just not something that they want to do. I thought that was very telling. A lot of younger members are more concerned about the environment, so it's a project that they loved. My suggestion is if you have members like that and you see them participating in one particular type of project, maybe give them some leadership and say, why don't you come up with a project that we can do and present it to us and see, you know, if we can manage to do it, if we can fund it. I think surveying your members regularly, you can actually find out what the interests are and plan activities that they enjoy. Encourage new members to get involved early. And this goes back to what we're talking about. What would a new member want to do? There was a presentation a while back called The Art of the Elevator Speech, and the first thing he tackled was problems first. And the problem is, why would someone want to join Rotary? Well, if they have something that is dear to their heart, that they want to be involved in, that they want to make a difference in the world, Rotary gives them that opportunity. But when they join our Rotary clubs, do we give them that opportunity? And I'm not always sure that we do. I'm not always sure that we tell them that they have that opportunity. Different generations are going to have different interests, and we have to recognize that. But we all have the same need to help. We want to create a better world. We just have to understand, again, different generations may have a little bit of different interest. Is there anybody who has a particular project or activity that they love, that your club does, that has huge involvement from your club? Most of your members are involved? My daughter is sitting over here laughing at the dead silence here. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Beth put up food for kids.
I think, is it Jamestown that does the Christmas shopping every year?
A lot of clubs do that. Clinton does that. I know. I've been to theirs, and Jamestown does the big chicken cook thing, which is a fundraiser. But I think everybody's involved with that. They cook chickens all morning. I think they start at 4 o'clock in the morning or something. Is anybody on here from Jamestown?
Okay, Cindy has Make and Fit. There's Dictionary Project. Cindy, what's Make and Fit? What is that?
It's an annual thing that we do with our Interact Club, our Rotary Club, the Health Council. We usually have about 400 to 500 people come, and it's just 8 to noon, 8 to 1 o'clock. The kids get to do bike rodeos and fun runs, and then we have a 5K and bouncy houses. It's just a way to encourage families in Macon County to get fit.
Okay. Shelley got some more annual pancake breakfast from Kingston Rotary, Chattanooga breakfast, I Smell Smoke. I think that's going on right now, or just happened, right, Aaron?
Just finished, Greg.
Yeah.
Okay, Aaron, so what is the I Smell Smoke?
It's a barbecue sale.
Okay.
It's a pre-order, so you sell for maybe a month and a half, and then there's a fun-filled day when everyone comes to pick it up. There was brisket, ribs, and pulled pork, or you could buy a whole butt. Our Food City was our major sponsor, and they brought one of their big smokers, and Tom Kale has his big smoker.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fabulous. We got nothing but compliments. We're still getting feedback. Our wrap meeting is Monday, so this was just last Saturday.
Okay.
And we made about $7,500, I think.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and Shelley, we have several clubs in our district who do daddy-daughter dances, and those are very popular with their communities and also very popular with their members.
Yeah, Clinton has daughter dance, 700 people show up, so
Yeah.
it's pretty big. Okay, I got some more notes here for you, Shelley, from Bonnie and down at Bradley Sunrise. Family Promise, Prospect School Library Project and School Supplies. Candace from Lebanon Breakfast Fish Fry. And from Colleen at Fairfield Glade doing a hippie fest. Colleen, you want to talk to that?
Yeah, in place of our music festival that we couldn't hold in September, we've decided, because we do weekly Mirror Lake, if you will, the community club does. So we decided to go ahead and do the Hippie Fest, which is a Beatles mania band coming in and doing hippie music. And it's a fundraiser, and everybody's dressing as hippies, and all the members are actively engaged, getting sponsors and gift cards for the games that they're going to play. So it should be a real fun time, and hopefully the weather will be perfect. And we're outside.
What's the date?
Oh, that's a trick question. October 24th.
Okay. And then Shelley, Marcy from Fairfield Glade also talked about the Alzheimer parade. Marcy, you want to talk to that?
Sure. It was one of the best turnouts. We used to do the walk, and a lot of the public wouldn't come to participate or watch or anything. But this time we drove with the help of our police through different neighborhoods, and people, it was in the paper and everything, and people were outside their homes waving or beeping. It was just amazing. I mean, they were thanking us, and it was really heartwarming. And I don't exactly know the amount that we raised, but I understood it was a lot more than we ever did before. So it was really good.
Oh, that's awesome. We definitely I have Fairfield Glade in our pictures a couple of times, Marcy and Colleen, because y'all are, by all means, I consider y'all a vibrant club.
Thank you.
And y'all are a great example. You're reacting to the community, but you have these unique fundraisers and projects that your community seem to love. So y'all are just knocking it out of the park.
Thank you.
Shelley, when our club takes in a new member, we do an orientation, and I do the orientation, so I know this for a fact. I try to match people's interests to an activity in the club, but it's hard because you don't know them when they're first coming in. So sometimes I think it takes a little while to try to match someone's interests to their, but most people I find come in because they're enamored with the fact that we do service. So if you can just get that point across to people about Rotary being service oriented, I think, sometimes you can get them to come and take a look. But it's sort of overwhelming when you first come into a club to know exactly what your interest is going to be, I think.
But having a orientation is important, though. A lot of clubs don't do orientation for new members.
Yeah, and we're actually, that's our next slide. Here's
Well,
talking about.
okay. Shelley, one more, Bonnie, reel to reel in place of our gala service above self challenge. So just another one for you.
Okay. I'm gonna say reel to reel. First thing I think of is some sort
Bonnie,
of.
it's REEL to REAL. Bonnie, you want to talk what that is?
Instead of having our
Uh-oh.
We lost her.
Well, her and Norm are in the same place, so they're getting feedback.
Oh.
Bonnie, why don't you explain that in the chat, okay? And then we'll go on from there.
Okay. So we're going best practices, coach members to lead. And as Greg and Beth mentioned, to me, orientation when a member first comes in is extremely important. And it covers what Rotary is, what the club does locally, what Rotary is zone, including hopefully in your orientation, it has the Heart to Heart project. How it, you have a Rotary club, you have the Rotary district, you have a Rotary zone, and it's Rotary International. How all of that works together to form Rotary. How the Rotary Foundation works, what some of the projects are. I always laugh and say my Rotary moment was when they asked me to work on the foundation, and I put together a presentation about the Rotary Foundation. I had no idea that Rotary did as much as it did, or even that our district and some of the clubs in it did certain projects. And I have been hooked ever since. There's, for leadership, a lot of people are looking for leadership opportunities. There is now Rotary and Toastmasters have formed an alliance. I'm hoping some of our clubs take advantage of some of that. There's leadership development programs out there. There's online training, and there's district meetings. I am a huge fan of district meetings, and this is kind of an odd one. And I'm hoping soon that we'll be able to get back to not the new normal, what our old normal was. I liked it much better. Appointing a club trainer. Beth is our district trainer and is doing an awesome job trying to put these trainings together and make everything a cohesive one. It's truly one message. All you're going to hear all day is one set message about being a vibrant club. How can that trainer help? And it's a question too about surveying your members again. We can ask what activities they like to do, but is there something else that they're wanting out of Rotary that they may not be getting? Is there more information? Is there knowledge? Are they wanting opportunities to lead? Are they wanting opportunities to speak in public and practice those skills? Let's ask our members, why did you join Rotary? What are you expecting to get? Is it networking? And most of the time, a lot of people join for networking, and hopefully we get them hooked on Rotary, and so they still get their networking, but they love Rotary. There's a learning center with My Rotary. I think in our orientations, we have to include getting them on DACDB and on Rotary International's website, My Rotary, getting them set up so they can look at some of the training programs. Ask your members, what training would you like our club to offer or to participate in? Maybe one of your meetings a month is developed to some sort of professional training. What training maybe should be abandoned or radically changed? Is your club doing any training, or do you just throw someone into the deep end and pray? You know, these are things that happen. We need to find out what our members are really needing. This is actually the Cookville Sunset Club. They are doing pickups to try and keep, it's one of their service projects. They are picking up trash almost every month with different groups, but they get their social distancing and they're still making an impact. And most of the time they run around, you'll see some of them have on Rotary at Work shirts. And I love the kid that they bring their kids and their family out and are involved in it. Some of our clubs are small, where having one person do a set type of committee is fine. Some of our clubs are larger. I think if your club has 30 members or more, that maybe having 2 to 3 people on some of the committees is not a bad idea. Administration, that usually goes to your board. Membership, though. It's hard for one person to work on membership in a club of 50 people or more, because you're doing the orientation, you're trying to make sure the new members are being involved, feeling welcome. I had a former Rotarian I spoke with this week. I called and asked, why did you leave us? And he told me he felt like a fish out of water every time he came to the meeting. And I told him, I said, then we failed you, and I'm very, very sorry. Let's maybe, because I think he is a great community asset, and he has not been in Cookville long, not working long, but I think over time he will be a great community leader. So I'm talking to him about possibly joining one of the other clubs and trying it. You know, if our club didn't suit him, knowing that he felt that way, it means that we failed somehow. So we've got to do a better job. Public relations, I think more than one person needs to be on public relations. You have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have the website, you have newspaper articles and press releases. It's hard for one person to take care of every project that you do, every meeting, every event, and get something out there. So having a committee, regardless of the size of your club, I think is very important there. Rotary Foundation is, it depends on how you're tackling Rotary Foundation. I think having a committee, sometimes one just for foundation, sometimes one for polio. We're coming up, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but on Hippie Fest, October 24th, is that not our World Polio Day?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
it is. And we're including World Polio functions within that.
I just sort of assumed y'all that you were, but I think that's awesome. You've got a Hippie Fest, but you're promoting one of Rotary's truly at the heart of what Rotary is projects. And I don't know that we do enough. You know, our district has continually said the polio, World Polio Day is coming up on the 24th. A Purple Pinky Day with Dunkin' Donuts is the Tuesday before, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so are we really sharing that with our club? I'm going to phrase that. I know our district is sharing it, but are our clubs sharing it with their members? And I'm not sure that that's actually happening as well as it should. Service, we have all sorts of service projects and youth service. Rachel Moses is in charge of youth service. I think Beth is doing that presentation today, though. Is that correct, Beth? Okay. I'm huge on being involved in youth service. If your club does not have somebody in youth service, is not participating in RILA, is not participating in our exchange students, which this year, again, with COVID. But there's different ways to still do that, and maybe keep in touch with those exchange students that have gone home, or talk to those exchange students that you sponsored to go out of the country. Maybe we can do a presentation on those to help promote youth service.
Hey, Shelley, Fairfield Glade says they have 8 members on their membership team. So that's pretty strong.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is absolutely awesome. And again, Fairfield Glade, I continue to use them as this vibrant club, and I've got down here the Hippie Fest on my calendar now.
Yeah. Hey, Shelley, you know, in Knoxville, we've had a couple of the Rotary Youth Exchange students who just came back, talked to our club, and they're very interesting, especially with their travels home and everything else. So pretty interesting. And they're available to do that.
I have loved to see these students, so Rick Woods, who is huge in youth services and is on the Ohio area committee or board, he is actually in our club. So he is all the time bringing in exchange students. He'll bring the exchange students in before they go on their trip abroad and their stay. And when they come back a year later and do another presentation, it is a different young adult. They have practiced those speaking skills. They are much more confident. They have changed in so many ways that seem to be very positive. So my favorite quote on youth services is always, there was one of the exchange students said, if every 17-year-old was a Rotary exchange student, there would be no wars. And it's easy to say, oh, this is a bad so-and-so, but then you have friends who live in that country and who are there. It makes you look at things slightly different. Okay, so there's examples of vibrant clubs out there. You can find stories on how clubs in our region overcame its challenges using some of the best practices on Be a Vibrant Club, your club leadership plan. I'm thinking some of y'all might want to talk to some of those at Fairfield Glade. What was the other club we talked about, Beth? Is it Clinton?
Sparta is one that we talked about, the clubs that fire on all cylinders.
Mm-hmm.
So that means membership, youth service, foundation, public image. They're firing on all cylinders. And Farragut is one, I think that is. Sparta is a small club, but I think they're up to about 39 members now, and they're firing on all cylinders. There's our clubs in our area that are really doing Rotary well, and that's what you like to see.
It is, and I'll guarantee that if you called someone in that Rotary club, they would be glad to share what their experiences have been and how they did and what changes that they made. Because I can tell you now, all of those clubs have made changes to their meeting space, to their attitude, to their club format, to having 8 members on a membership chair, to, I know Greg, y'all moved, the Knoxville club moved from the country club to a different restaurant.
Right. Yeah, we
And
moved.
it's improved.
Yeah.
You know,
Plus saving $300 a week on food.
yeah, that's important. So what you'll see, I guess, is the big thing, guys, is that you're going to see changes. This club has made changes, and change is sometimes scary, but it has to be done. Our new, the new logo or theme of Rotary, or tagline, that's the phrase I'm looking for. The new tagline of Rotary for a couple of years has been Rotary People of Action. We take action out in our communities. We take action internationally. We come up with projects. I don't know that we're all the time addressing that same attitude toward our clubs, where we need to take action to make changes that can create a more vibrant club. So look at what those changes can be, and please don't be afraid to make them.
Shelley, you might ask the people on here if they think their club is firing on all 4 cylinders, and maybe they'll tell us who they are. Anybody want to volunteer?
Say ditto. How's that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have, is your club?
Erin's club is, Erin, you got to say something there, girl. Tell them about your club, Chattanooga Breakfast.
Well, we do a little of everything. Pretty strong in youth services. We do RILA every year. Couple of Interact clubs. Downtown is about to start a 3rd Interact club. A A lot of service to the community.
And you do foundation well.
Oh, yeah. And downtown is doing foundation well. And we have our own endowment also, and we've done some pretty big stuff. We just did a $25,000 grant to Tech Goes Home to set up some hot spots for inner city kids that just don't have access.
Oh, that's awesome.
Gonna
Yeah,
help in
that's
the near
awesome.
future.
Our club is getting ready to do a project like that too. And it's not just for kids, it's for adults.
Yeah, but we've, recruiting volunteers to man it's going to be in the churches and some of the inner city neighborhoods. And so there'll be volunteers, supervision for these young people, and their parents can go to work. Because a lot of parents who have to work, and a lot of us do have to work, they have trouble with what do you do with your child when they're, 6, 7, 8 years old and you have to leave and you don't have the hot spot and you can't leave them home alone. And so this has been kind of a blessing to that part of the community, and that's happening now. We presented the check yesterday. So,
J.R. Hertwig's on here from Oak Ridge. They do a great job. I think they're probably firing on all cylinders except maybe membership. What do you say, J.R.?
Yeah, I'd say so. We might have slipped a little bit during these COVID times, but I think we're still, doing a lot, and there's still a lot happening for sure. We've got all kinds of service projects going on in the community. I tend to be more of a naysayer. That's my personality. So I'm always looking for how can we improve more than how can we talk about what we're doing well. But yeah, we do a lot in Oak Ridge, and I thank you for recognizing us with that.
And just about every time I come there, either you have some youth there for some reason. Either it's they've just come back from RILA, or they've just done something. I don't know if y'all have an Interact Club or not, but it's always good to come there and see the young people. The young people just do something for us. I don't know what it is. They make us feel younger, I think, or maybe we think we can help them not make all the mistakes we made, right?
Well, I think it's just amazing to think about the potential that they have, I think is what it is more than anything, to see, them doing so well and to imagine what they could become. But yeah, there's amazing stuff going on. There's an amazing program with a lot of support at Oak Ridge High School. I wish Scott Smith was here to be able to share with you more about that, but it's tremendous what they're doing with that, and it has continued to grow. I don't remember his last numbers on membership, but it's huge actually there. I think it was something like more than 60 members or something like that, if I'm remembering correctly. That blows my mind.
Yeah, that's incredible. And Andy Anderson's on here from Bradley Sunrise, and they're an awesome club. Would you, are y'all involved in youth? Andy, I know you're great on foundation. I know you're great on membership, and I think you do well on public image, but how about youth? Are y'all doing anything in youth? I can't hear you. You're muted.
I'll do it. All right, there we go. How's that?
Good.
All right. We do the RILA, but that was canceled. We have the Interact Club at Tennessee Christian Preparatory School. What we don't do well is the exchange student. We have in the past, but could probably do better than that. I think one of our biggest weaknesses right now is the membership between Zooming, not Zooming. We have half Zoom and half live. It becomes very easy to stay home and not come to your meeting. And then when you're home, it becomes very easy to say, well, I'll just skip it. And so our attendance, our number of members has not grown. We did add one member last Thursday, which just happens to be a very good member. Her name's Karen Cooley. She's on 2 franchises of Chick-fil-A. So bless God, we're going to have Chick-fil-A. But that was a good addition. So I guess that's the best thing I can say. We do the Purple Pinky. Norm has jumped on that. If all of you know Norm, if you give him he'll bust through the door. He was calling up members Thursday and Friday. I think he's up to 87 plus boxes of donuts. So we're wide open on Purple Pinky.
That's great. That's great. So anybody else want to?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
Bob.
we're getting ready to, we've been working on starting 2 new Interact clubs. And Lewis Kearney gave me the information. We're going to start working for one with a homeschool group and then another one with a girls academy that has requested one, and Goal Academy. So I'm sorry, that's 3 that we're working on to start.
Incredible, incredible. Shelley,
We do good in that area, I think, too.
Oh, no, I'm
got
glad you asked.
You got 8 minutes left.
Okay, so we only have like 1 slide or 2 left, so we're okay. And I'm glad that you asked because, as I said before, we have amazing clubs all over our district. And again, we have the best district in the world, and those are made up of those clubs. Our clubs, you know, it's like Beth said, there's 3, we're talking about 4 subjects today, and 3 of them, every club seems to be doing fantastically. Membership, we know, is hard right now, and some of the clubs are still doing that. I think if I focus a little bit on Fairfield Glade, I apologize to any of the other clubs who I didn't want to slight anybody. I was just doing some research because our membership was our committee. Donna was going there to actually do a presentation. So they were kind of at the forefront of my mind, but all of our clubs are just fantastic. Fairfield Glade, Sparta, Farragut, Oak Ridge, Chattanooga, the Knoxville clubs. We've got a couple that are just constantly there. And we have, but a lot of times what I see is that from all of those clubs, there's somebody here in this meeting today. There's somebody involved, someone on the district. There's more communication, there's more participation at not only the club level, but at a district level. And I think that that really is important when you're talking about vibrant clubs. The next slide is just our resources showing what you can do when you sign into My Rotary. Brand Central is there. You can pull logos. You can create a logo specifically for your club. Leadership Action, or Leadership in Action, your guide to starting a program, mentoring basics, protecting youth program participants. Of course, we're always making sure that we're taking care of our youth in the best ways. Member satisfaction survey, that's huge. Rotary Club Central, make plan, and then what steps can we take to make our club vibrant? And those are questions that we've kind of asked again today. Our new tagline that we've used we've used it for a couple of years, is, Rotary People of Action. We're not ones to stand by on the sidelines and watch things go by. We really create change. And we just have to take that attitude towards some of our club activities or toward membership or toward public image. All of those, we have to decide if they need to make changes and what changes we need to make and act on it. And again, writing it down is always a good thing. Does anyone have any more questions?
I want to just report to, to you that we had 3 new members this year, and we're on Zoom and everything, and so it can be done.
It can. We have 6 in the pipeline.
All
that's
right.
awesome, Aaron. But 3 new members already is fantastic.
We sort of said, maybe we won't get any new members this year, but it has happened. And you'll hear about it in public image.
And it'll be interesting to hear. We want to know why you're getting new members. Aaron, is there anything in particular that you can attribute to having 6 new members?
We have a really strong committee. And they watch, when they watch the Chamber of Commerce publications, that 40 under 40 and things that, they just watch that sort of thing. And when promotions are announced, and when you see people active in the community, they reach out.
Yeah, and Jeff Allen's got a chat on here where he says he has 9 so far for downtown Knoxville. That's awesome.
Excellent. I know they were having trouble, so that's really good
That
news.
is awesome. And see, I was really concerned about being the district member share chat. It sounds like y'all are going to make it really easy on me this year.
No, but we're going to work on vibrant clubs, right?
Yeah. Like I said, I think if your club is vibrant, which we talked about, the downtown Knoxville is, Aaron's club is, Beth, yours is, it's much easier to get new members if your club is vibrant. If you're doing all of the stuff that we're going to talk about today, you're going to get, everybody has an interest in something along those lines. And some of the projects, the foundation, the community service, there'll always be something. So if no one has any other questions, I'm done.
Okay, super. Yay. Thank you, Shelley. Well done.
For attending and suffering through it.
No suffering. No suffering. Well, we're going to go right on to our next session at the end of the second session. Then we're going to have a break of 30 minutes. I hope y'all made your tuna sandwich or whatever, and you've got it ready to go, and I won't lose you to the ball game and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so the second session is on the Rotary Foundation, and we have Debbie Alexander Davis, who is our DRFC, District Rotary Foundation Chair this year. And she is going to talk to us about how to have a vibrant club that is in using the Rotary Foundation. And I have often quoted Jim Roxlow as saying, and you know who, everybody knows who Jim Roxlow is, that the way to really make your club go is to be involved with grant writing and giving to the Rotary Foundation. And so with that word or two, Debbie, it's all yours.
You're muted, Debbie. Debbie, you're muted.
I'm good now. Can everyone see the screen? We good?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so I get to follow Shelley. She is so vibrant and so excited, and we all love having her back active at the district level, Shelley. Thank you for stepping back in. So we'll be talking about the foundation in this session, and this is the same slide that Shelley showed you with the 4 ideas of vibrant clubs and things that make clubs vibrant. And I do this all the time, so I apologize. I start clicking around and then it goes to the next slide. So just to review, those 4 things are: members are engaged, the club conducts meaningful projects, you try out new things, you're not afraid of change, and you engage with the Rotary Foundation. So you'll notice I have that last one highlighted. This, by the way, is a picture from our district governor nominees club, Franklin AM Breakfast, sorry, just Franklin County AM. And it was on Facebook, but I'm not exactly sure. There's something to do with fighting cancer and kids, and it looks like there's a lot of presence there. Al, do you want to tell us a little bit about this picture?
Sure, yeah, that's an annual project that we are involved with an organization called the Landon and Levi Inc. They, because of experiences with those 2 children, they focus on collecting toys at Christmas time for young people, young children who are in the hospital who cannot get out because of their situation and enjoy a normal, quote unquote, normal Christmas. So Landon and Levi, in a partnership with our Rotary Club, collects toys and delivers them to 2 locations, Erlanger in Chattanooga and Vanderbilt in Nashville. And you can see the joy and the faces of the adults and the children in that picture, which was taken about a year ago. Not sure how that's going to affect this project this year, but we're going to carry on with it and make sure these young children get an opportunity to enjoy what would otherwise be not the kind of Christmas that you would normally enjoy if you were stuck in the hospital recovering from cancer.
Al, it sounds like a lot of your members are involved with that project, probably most of them.
Would you repeat the question?
It sounds like a lot of your members are involved with that project. Would that be correct?
It's 100% of our members and the entire Landon and Levi organization. Yeah.
Right. Would you all think that was a meaningful project? I think
Oh, I'm
you'd all
gonna tell
agree
you.
with
You
me.
see, you see the first couple of individuals, adults, holding the sign up there. And one's a Rotarian, one's from the Landon and Levi, and they both indicated, as did several other of our members who were at that presentation, that it was the most meaningful event they have attended in a long time. A lot of tears shed.
I can imagine. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
So I have a quote that I want us to look at just quickly. Sir Clem Renoff was a past Rotary International president who just passed away this year. Rotary takes ordinary men and women and gives them extraordinary opportunities to do more with their lives than they ever dreamed possible. So as we go through this Rotary Foundation, and in fact, the whole Vibrant Club seminar, keep that in mind, the things that we can do together with fellow Rotarians in our communities to do more than we ever thought we could. Okay, why is being a Vibrant Club good? We've talked already quite a bit about that in membership, but I want us to take a look now and drill down a little bit more to the foundation area. And we're going to talk about giving and grants. So think about how this might work for your club, things that you're already doing, things that you would like to do, and we'll talk about that again at the end of this session. So the focus will be on helping your club be more relevant to your community, how you attract new members through work that we do with service projects in the foundation, and how you meet members' needs and keep them engaged through both giving and the service projects that the Rotary Foundation funds. Those are going to be our big things I want you to think about. Okay, again, we've got a best practice here. Let's hold engaging meetings. Beth, whose club is that?
That's my club. You know, we have a member who's 105, and you see him there, and he's putting on a membership pin on a new member that he recruited. She works at the assisted living where he lives. So he recruited her, and we were excited. He nagged us to death. When are we bringing her in? When are we bringing her in? And so anyway, it's really a fun time for us.
Why don't you tell us about the picture with what looks like a family?
Well, that was a new member induction ceremony, and I asked Greg Newman, he's one of our newer members, he's been in about 2 years, if he would like to bring his family. And so he brought his entire family to be inducted to the Rotary Club because it is an honor to him. And so that's who they are. And the other one is also a new member, and she was inducted last year, and we're happy to have her too.
You'll be learning more this afternoon if you don't already know how to do this, but this is called branding for Rotary. And during our public image session this afternoon, the gentleman who's conducting that will be taking you to the brand center so you can see some of the things you can do. You just paste this thing right in your photo. So there's Rotary People of Action, and there's a whole set of Together We Something. And we're going to spend a little time later on Together We Respond. So you can be thinking about that. Let's think just a minute, though, about Rotary Foundation meetings. Do any of your clubs devote specific meetings to the Rotary Foundation, giving and grants throughout the year? If you'd answer in the chat box, if you do that, that would be super. Maybe tell us what you actually do. I'm going to go on and talk while you think of your answers. So I'm wondering what we can do to make foundation meetings more engaging if we do hold them regularly. What is it that would keep our members' interest? Well, our whole leadership team on foundation and Beth's team, we've all talked about how it's really important that we showcase the work that we can do with the foundation funds so that people understand the need and really want sincerely in their hearts to support that. So one of the things that we do when we do presentation is focus much more on the good that the funds do that are donated than actually giving the funds themselves. And I see some, it looks like there are comments coming in. Greg,
Yes.
anything we know about, or Beth?
Yes, Knoxville Downtown holds foundation meetings. Fairfield Glade has foundation as a program in the month of November. Cindy Gammon's Club, we always have a meeting specifically about the foundation. We then have a meeting to showcase our district grant every year. Karen Wentz, we try to feature something about the foundation on a regular basis in November. Well, it kind of moved on me. We will have speakers about the foundation. This year we will have foundation trustee Brenda Cressy. Oh, I didn't know that. All right. Tellico
Very
Lake
cool.
does a November Foundation Month program. Bradley Sunrise, 2 to 3 weeks on the foundation.
Wow. Impressive. One of the things that we're going to talk about also is your foundation committee. And I know Shelley talked about a membership committee, so let's take a look at that. I'm not going to say much about this one, except that I do think that committees are important because they help keep the club focused. And as we talked about in membership, if we can pair our members with the committees that meet their personal passions and goals and things that they are just so serious about, then it's a great way to keep members. So now I'm going to ask you another question. Does your club have an official Rotary Foundation committee? And if so, is it mostly one person or is it a true committee? If you just type a couple of things in the chat box there, that would be great. Might see a few things coming in.
Some are saying true committee. One, Oak Ridge says they have 6 members on their committee. Fairfield Glade has 4. Knoxville Breakfast 3. Cindy Gammon's Club 1, and they have a committee. They have a chair and a committee. Chattanooga Downtown has a full committee with a chair and a co-chair. And they're in progress with their foundation drive for the year. And then I don't know what Anderson typed here. Uncommittee committee. I don't know.
I know what that is.
You know what that means?
Yeah. What that means is that we have several people doing it, but it's not an official committee. So we can call it a committee if you want to, but it's not a committee. So we have an uncommittee committee.
Great.
And I think we have a foundation committee and a chair and a co-chair, about 6 people on the committee.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to wager that all the ones who said on here that they have a committee are really strong on Rotary Foundation. So I don't know about the rest, but all of these I know from personal experience are strong on foundation. So kudos to you for, I think that having that structure in place is really helpful because we change our president every year, but our committees, you know, can provide the stability and continuity.
Very true. Thank you, Beth. Greg, we're going to run the poll now that I sent you.
Okay.
What this is, there are a number of best practices for Rotary Foundation committees. And what I'd like you to do is read over these. You can choose all of them if you do all of them. But choose the ones that you feel that your foundation committee in your club actually does. And we will watch those come in, and after almost all of you or all of you have given your responses, we'll review them.
Whoops.
That was fast.
Well, how did that, what
Where'd
happened?
it go?
Well, it closed. Why did it
It
close?
disappeared.
Okay, I don't know why. Someone, it closed, so I'm relaunching it. Hang on again.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what happened.
Wonder if that'll skew your numbers.
No, it started all over.
Okay.
If you voted
Everybody,
before, you got to vote again. Yeah, I don't know what happened. It ended all of a sudden. I don't know. I weren't even touching the mouse. Mhm.
Yeah, I think that was my fault. Sorry. Can you tell how red my face is now? Mhm.
No. Did you do it?
Very close to, yeah. Mhm.
That's what happens when I make you a co-host. See?
Yeah, I was trying to hit the other button and just missed. Sorry.
Well, mine's gone now. So after I hit submit, it vanished.
Yeah, we got 22 of 27, so 81%. So I think that we're still voting. Hang on. We got.
Okay.
So let's wait another 15 seconds and then we'll kill it. Because people are still voting. Okay, we've got 26 out of 27, so I'm going to stop. Debbie,
wow.
Go ahead.
Yeah. 88% inspire club members to give to the foundation. I think I'm reading okay. I don't have my reading glasses on. 81% celebrate their accomplishments. 77% set annual and long-term goals. 73% promote grants and participation in projects. And let's see, we also have attend and encourage others to attend grant management with 62%. Let's see what the lowest ones are. Look at that. Even coordinate with service project committee, while it was below half, was still at 42%. But it's looking like only about a fourth of us hold those inspirational foundation focus club programs quarterly. One thing I would say about that is while November definitely is Foundation Month and it's a great month to focus on the foundation, sometimes we don't keep our attention on the foundation throughout the year. So that might be a best practice that you would want your club to consider adding. As Beth mentioned earlier, the whole presentation, the whole day is being recorded. And these should be available on the district website soon. So if you want to take notes, I would just kind of write down whatever you want to, but remember this will be up for you to refer back to and download. So there are the 7 things. Impressive job that all your clubs are doing. Okay, you talked a little bit about long-range planning and membership, and we've talked about how you go about setting up a visioning event and some of the things that can happen. This is actually the Manchester Rotary Club doing a visioning event. And if you haven't done one, part of what you do is you think about what you want your club to be like in 3 to 5 years in certain areas. Foundation is one of those areas. But there are many others like membership and club meetings and vocational service and youth service and all kinds of things. And then just write down all the ideas. And after that, people have a chance to vote for their top favorites. And in the end, after 2 rounds of voting, you have a really good idea of what your club is all about. I know when my club, which is Kingston Rotary, did visioning, it came through loud and clear that we were all about young people and helping them be successful. So as you think about your club in 3 to 5 years, be thinking about changes that you think could be made foundation-wise that would help you become more attractive and vibrant. We're not going to talk about that now, but again, just keep that at the back of your mind. Another best practice is to develop annual goals. And as Shelley asked you for membership, do you know what the annual goals are for 2021 for foundation, both for giving?
Are you asking us to answer that?
And so may have a, maybe not the goals, but have a really good idea of where you're going with them. And if I kind of zone out here, I'm getting a signal saying my internet connection is unstable, but I just saw it once. So hopefully everything's going to hold up.
Debbie, I think about half of us lost whatever you said. Did you ask a question you wanted us to answer?
That was it. Thank you. And it's okay. We can skip this part. I was just wondering, and you can think about it for yourself, do you actually know what the goals are for your club, for the foundation, in both giving and projects for this current year? If not, then that might be something that your club might want to focus on so that all members are aware. Okay. One of the things that you do, or you will want to do, I feel sure, after you set those goals is to put them in Rotary Club Central. And we're going to talk a bit more about that in just a minute. So in terms of giving to the foundation, we have several possible goals. Our district recognition, these are the areas in which we recognize clubs. Your club gives $100 per capita, the annual fund for Star Club. If you've done that for 10 or more years, you are a superstar club. Eradicator clubs give 40 or more per capita, maybe 50 this year. If it is, I apologize, because I think I forgot to change that. And we have a 250 club now where the club gives 200 per capita to the annual fund and $50 to Polio Plus. These are all district recognitions.
Yeah,
I know that we all
Debbie,
have some.
Debbie, the 250 club is individuals, not club.
Not per capita.
Right, it's 250 a person, yeah.
So every single person has to give the 250. It's not on average.
Right, it's a personal recognition, yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'll fix that for the next time. So these are all recognitions that you can earn from the district. And it might be that you decide that you want to earn all these things, and many clubs have done that. There are also, well, I do want to talk about polio for just a minute because we're so close. And October 20th is when we'll be doing our Duncan Purple Pinky Day. There's all kinds of information on Facebook and on the district website page. What I really want you to remember, if you pay $20 for 10 donuts, a box of donuts, that'll turn into $180 to help us eradicate polio. And here's some pictures from John Downs, our polio chair, giving drops in India. John Germ, our past Rotary International president last year, with his box of Dunkin' Donuts. I think that might have actually been taken in Evansville because they arranged to send donuts from a Chicago area store to the board that was meeting in Evanston last year. And this is Dave Baumgartner, Rotary Club of Knoxville member, who is the franchise owner of most of the stores that we're working with. And we brought in a whole set of other districts. The goal this year, counting the match, is to raise $1 million to eradicate polio. So I hope you will all support that. On levels of recognition that come directly from the Rotary Foundation, some things that you might aim for personally is to give $100 or more per year to the annual fund and be a sustaining member. We have lots of Paul Harris Fellows in our district who have graciously and generously agreed to be, I'm sorry, well, to give a total, and I did add a total of $1,000 here. It's not $1,000 a year. It's a total lifetime of $1,000. So if you gave $100 per year for 10 years, you would have your $1,000 and then you could become a Paul Harris Fellow. And that can go to annual fund, polio, or an approved foundation grant. And you get recognition points, and you can use that to make other people Paul Harris Fellows. A lot of clubs use those points to recognize community leaders, people in nonprofits who they want to recognize and honor, or even people in their own club. You can't use your recognition points on yourself. And a multiple Paul Harris Fellow is simply when you give additional gifts of $1,000. And look here, here's Beth Stubbs at the Rotary Club of Cleveland presenting Paul Harris +8 to one of our assistant governors, Dave Chaffin. So it is doable, and many of you have already done it. And just think about those kinds of goals, both personally and for your club. I don't know if you all know where you actually track those goals on Rotary Club Central, but you go, when you click on Rotary Club Central, it will pull up your club, and there's a masthead. You go to the Goal Center, and again, this afternoon under Public Image, you'll be looking at this a bit more. One thing that we found when we talk to people is they don't always realize that these things at the top where it says membership and engagement, Rotary Foundation Giving and Service, that you actually have to click on the one you want to look at. And they say, I can't get to the foundation giving part. It only shows me members and engagement. So if anybody asks you that, you'll know to say, oh yeah, click on the tab. This is my club. This is Kingston. And our 2021 goals are here. We have not a whole lot of members. We are a very strong club, but because our membership is down, I wouldn't refer to us as a vibrant club. So annual fund, we have set a goal of $4,000. So far to date, we've achieved at $2,800. Our Polio Plus contributions are $150 at this point, and our goal is $700. And we can track. So as you think about what your annual funds contributions are, if you want to do Star Club, then you would take the number of members you had on July 1st, multiply by 100, and that would be your goal for the year. On Polio Plus, let's say you wanted to do $50 a member, you would do the same thing. And then you can edit and you can report, now you can put your progress into. This is actually tracked by the big Rotary International in the Sky in Evanston. So we don't have any say in tracking this, but there are other things we can track. So let's talk now a little bit about using funds from the foundation. And possible goals might be, if you've never done a district grant, do one. If you've never thought about doing a global grant, make those connections with someone in a different area and support them in something they're doing. As you think about projects, think about how you could use dollars from the Rotary Foundation to help you impact more lives and make your project more sustainable. I know we all do multiple projects, and you won't be able to do a district grant or a global grant for everything that you do. So think about that project that will be most impactful, that you could leverage dollars in order to make it even better than it would be otherwise. And again, that leads us into public image and community relations and all kinds of really good things that happen when we do that. Here's a page from Chattanooga Hamilton Place where they are tracking their service goals. So remember, we were on Rotary Foundation Giving here, and now we're on service. And so you can actually, I got to move my little bar that shows everybody's picture. You can see that they have set a goal of 10 projects for this year. I think they've already done projects, they just haven't entered them yet on achievement. And over here, you can pull down to see goal details and history. And when you do that, you'll see that last year, they had a goal of 12 projects. I'm guessing they were hoping to do one a month, and they actually achieved 14. When you track those projects, you, sorry, I'm going the wrong way. When you track those projects, you do it in a different area of Rotary Club Central, but it allows you to put in what you're going to do and when they're completed. One of the reasons that we want you to use Rotary Club Central is so you can see this kind of data over multiple years. So when they were looking at their projects for this year, they might have been thinking, and I don't know that this was it at all. Last year, we were able to do 14 projects. We thought we'd do one a month. This year with COVID, maybe I'm not so sure we'll get to 12, but let's shoot for 10. So do you see how that having some history in place might help you as you plan for current and future years? And it also helps us with our big public image campaign for Rotary as a whole and all those numbers that come out on how we volunteer and how we spend money and the time that we give to our communities. Okay, I'm going to spend just a little bit of time now showing you some things that I found on Facebook. This is the Rotary Club of Lafayette, our district governor-elect's club. And this is done in Kenya to help with a water shortage at a prep school. And they drilled a well and they have a big water storage tank so that 500 children at that school will have water. So congratulations, Lafayette. Cindy, do you want to say anything about that?
Yes, we've been trying to work with Mombasa for a while. Ricky has some connections there, and so each year we try to help them in different ways. We've supplied books and then food and other things. So it's a great ongoing project that we've been doing.
It certainly is. And see that sign right there? Donated by Rotary Club of Lafayette with the club that is in Kenya working with them. So again, great PR, public image opportunities, ways to reach out. Here's one from Flu Shot Saturday, which is done in Knoxville, and all the Knoxville clubs participate. This is from the Rotary Club of Bearden's page. Janice, I think you're on. Do you want to say anything about this one?
Yes, because of COVID-19, we had to do drive-throughs, and we weren't quite sure how that was going to work. But with the feedback we received from everyone who participated from our club and the people who were receiving the shots, we decided that this ought to be an option every year that we do a drive-by. There was a lot of work involved at the beginning of it, getting it started. The chair for West High School from our club had to be there at 6 a.m. in the morning. The rest showed up at 7, and then people started coming through shortly after that. And there was a lot of upfront work, but it was beautifully done. And we were pretty excited about the new way to get the shots.
I think we can say a vibrant club thinks about approaching things in new ways and doing things differently. And certainly that's been the case this year with many projects, including this one for the Knoxville clubs. Thank you, Janice.
You're welcome.
It's my understanding that people do donations, but that if they cannot pay, that they still get their flu shots.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Thank you. And I think I have someone from Lebanon on. This is the 4 Wilson County Rotary clubs have collected $13,500 from other Rotary clubs to help with tornado relief. Does my person from Lebanon want to talk about that? Or if I have a Mount Juliet person?
I think Candy's on here, or she was on here.
She's not here anymore. I was at that presentation.
I see your picture, Greg.
See me. So what?
Tell us.
What they did was there's representatives from the clubs, the 2 Lebanon clubs and the 2 Mount Juliet clubs, and representatives from the from the sheriff's department, from the county, then the police from Lebanon, and the police from Mount Juliet. And what they did was present a check, and I think it's $13,500, something like that. And they presented $100 gift cards that were able to use by the police to give to the people who needed help. And so the police were responsible for distributing the funds. And so it was a nice presentation. We did that, I don't know, in June. Is that what it is? Yeah, in June. So
Toward the end of June, yeah.
Yeah.
While we're looking at tornado relief, let's move on and think about Rotary Responds. This is certainly a way that Rotary responds. Here's one from Loudon. Wayne, are you on? Tell us a little bit about this.
He's muted. Okay.
I saw him
Yeah, I
earlier.
can't. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I cannot see your slides, so I don't know what you're asking.
It's the COVID-19 project. So they gave $20,000 along with Loudoun Utilities and TVA to support the Loudoun County schools to help get education back up. So do you want to tell us a little more about it, Wayne? What it was
Well,
like?
we went ahead and got that grant. We ended up furnishing all kinds of hand sanitizers, a lot of thermometers that the schools used to check all the kids when they were coming to school. So that was the primary thing. I believe TVA is actually wanting to renew that grant, so we may be participating in another one.
Great, thank you. Okay. And I don't know if I have anyone from Cookeville Sunset on or not, but this is the Cookeville Sunset Club, also doing response to tornadoes. Putnam County and where Cookeville is located was hit very hard. Is there anybody from Cookeville Sunset? Okay. And as you see, these people back there in the green, let me get back there again. We've got Interact kids back here. And then these are club members. There's Susie Cantrell, our assistant governor, and some of the other members of the Cookeville Sunset Club. So once again, all three of those last ones were Rotary Responds that has to do with disasters. The flu was also Rotary Responds for something that we deal with every year. I'm gonna...
Debbie, can I say something more about Cookeville? They raised a lot of money. In addition, we had money from Chico Sunrise in California and money from North Carolina. And also another nonprofit donated 180 mattresses, brand new mattresses, good mattresses to the Cookeville area. And the Rotary clubs helped distribute those as well. And Averitt Trucking helped us to help distribute them with their trucks. So they did quite a bit. I had a meeting with the club presidents early on and got a chance to view the damage, and it was quite pretty devastating, that's for sure. So a lot of good work done by the Cookeville clubs.
One of the things that you'll notice too is that several people have on a Rotary face mask. Again, another way to show people that Rotary is involved, and they have on their Rotary t-shirts, and also they branded this photo again, Rotary People of Action. This might be a good time to look and see if we have any comments, Beth, that we would want to talk about now. Anybody chiming in with things that they'd like to add in terms of being a person of action or responding to needs in communities?
Don't have anything right now, Debbie.
Okay, we might have more. And I'm getting ready to show you a very short video that's really new that Rotary just put out recently.
For over 100 years, Rotary members have taken action when challenges arise. We know what people can do when they come together and put others before themselves.
The team lead said they will continue the campaign to fight against the coronavirus.
Local Rotary clubs deliver food and supplies to people in need.
Strangers become friends, helping hands multiply, and problems turn into solutions. We are Rotary. We are people of action. Learn more at rotary.org/action.
That was good, Debbie.
What do you guys think? Would you like to use that in your club or at some informational meeting, or any ideas for how you might use that?
Club meeting would be good.
I think
How do we get it?
think too that putting that on our Facebook pages, our Rotary Facebook pages, Debbie, would be a good thing because it's going to bring more awareness to the local community as to what it is that we're doing to reach out, and so that's a great piece that's short, concise, and motivational all at the same time.
I like the 30-second link. I think
I used
it's
to
a
try
great.
to show this. Hi, Debbie, this is Karen. I used to try to show those back in the old days when we were meeting regularly. I would try to show those at the beginning of almost every meeting when I could, because it's just, again, this short little promo, and you can get those from the Rotary website. Those are all available through the Rotary website. And there's a number of them, actually.
There are quite a few of them, and they're all good. Sometimes you have to search to get the exact right one, but they're wonderful. And you'll learn again in the public image session this afternoon how you go about finding those. But I will tell you that when you sign into My Rotary, there is a brand center, and then you have several options. And if you go ahead and there's a video click that you can click on, but there's also videos embedded in the section that has to do with getting the word out about your club and about Rotary. Actually, you would think, and I'm on satellite internet, so I'm always careful about this, you would think it might take a whole lot of bandwidth to download and be really big. They're really not. So I would encourage you to take a look at what's there. I originally had a 2-minute one, and I decided it was just too long, but it does go up to about 2 minutes if you want to do something a bit longer. Okay, so when we started, although I think there might have been a few comments that came in, Beth. I'm watching the red number change.
Just that would be great to show in a club meeting or show on Facebook and the website.
Great, wonderful ideas. All right. So you remember we opened this session with this slide about vibrant clubs engage their members, they have meaningful projects, they try new ideas, and they engage with the Rotary Foundation. As you think about what we've talked about with regard to foundation, I want you to just think about what steps you can take to make your club more vibrant with regard to the foundation. And if you will, you're welcome actually to go ahead and unmute yourself and share ideas, or you can share in the chat box.
Debbie, I think using grants is really helpful because the club can, they can double the size of their project because we match whatever they put in. And so, we always encourage the giving, but I like to say, to use the Rotary Foundation as well because you can do more.
I agree, Beth. Other thoughts?
And Beth, we have found that to be true with the Fairfield Glade Rotary Club. The use of grants has just been awesome for our members to feel more involved in the community. Last year, we were able to do the grant for the Crab Orchard Elementary School playground, which that was $10,000 more than what we would have been able to do otherwise. This year, we have a grant that we're working on for the adverse childhood experiences. And so when the club members know that what we're doing is impacting locally, as well as making contributions towards the international grants as well, it just helps us all feel like we're part of the bigger picture. And I think that's important to keep the club vibrant is to help everybody to understand that it's not just about us. I mean, we are out here doing some amazing things.
Well, we've got several international grant people on here, Debbie. We've got Global Grant. We've got Bradley Sunrise, who's done the Togo grant. We've got Cookville on here, and they have a current grant. I'm trying to think where it is. So, these folks are using big dollars from the Rotary Foundation besides the district money that we have. And of course, Ronna Poon is on here, and he knows how the power of the global grant funds. Let's see if there's anybody else on here that's, well, Oak Ridge. I don't think JR's still here. Oak Ridge has done a global grant. So you've got several clubs, Debbie, represented that, you know, I think if you look at those clubs, those are some powerful clubs. And I think being involved with the foundation helps with that.
You know, I agree, and I don't see anyone from Oak Ridge Breakfast, but they stepped up and are working on a global grant, and I believe it's their first ever, isn't it, Beth?
No, they've actually done one before. They did a Haiti water project that I know of, and there might be others.
Hey, this is Ruby, president of Oak Ridge Breakfast Rotary. It just says Ruby's laptop, but I am here. I have been here. And I'm also babysitting with grandchildren, which is why I don't have my picture or why I'm muted. But we do have the grant, the global grant with the club in India that we are in the process of initiating as soon as the pandemic passes. But the grant has been approved, and it will be to assist people who have been burned by fire. It's called Hope After Fire. So we're looking forward to getting that one going. And we did have others, as Beth mentioned. So yes, we are here. It's just Ruby's laptop.
Good.
Anybody else want to add anything on this? Is there anything you'd like to actually share, speaking to all of us rather than chatting? Because this is the time.
Well, Andy, you've got to say a little bit about the Togo project. You've got to. Unmute. We can't hear you.
How about now?
Yes.
Togo was a very big project that took several years. We finally got it going, got the wells up, freshest clean water anywhere around. It's a thing that draws people together. We were able to work with other districts to collaborate, had people in our district, but we have another global grant to help do India, spinal bifida, and we have another grant with Dr. Johnson that puts in water wells in Honduras. So I'm a firm believer in grants. I'm a firm believer in doubling and tripling, and you know, I call it the magic of Rotary money.
Yes. Wasn't the Togo grant over 100,000?
116, 13, somewhere along there, but who's counting?
That's right. So we're talking big bucks. And I can't remember on the spinal, after fire, life after fire, that one's, they had a major donor from India. Is this okay for me to tell this, Ruby?
Yeah, it's quite all right. And that one is well over 400,000.
You had a donor of 400,000. So the grant itself is, it was originally written for over 500 and they backed it down just a little bit. So anyway, it's an enormous grant and we'll be doing a tremendous amount of work there. Is Shelley still on here? Does she know about the Cookville grant, or have we lost Shelley? Yeah.
How about we ask Debbie to talk about the Positive Peace Grant?
That's a good one.
Thank you, Ralph. Ralph is from my club. I appreciate it. The Positive Peace Grant, the global grant that we did a couple of years ago, has to do with peace and conflict resolution in Mexico. It was a really unique grant, I think, in that we pulled in Rotaractors and young professionals who were then paired with Rotary clubs. They came to training, they taught, they learned about the 7 pillars of peace, and then they were tasked with going back to their communities and trying to figure out what they could do to make where they lived a safer place. We are still working through different stages of that grant. At this point, one of the things that is being done is the Institute for Economics and Peace is translating all their materials into Spanish from English and developing online courses, so that Mexico is one of the very hardest hit countries right now with COVID. And so we're trying to adapt the training and what these young people do to keep them safe as well. Ron, do you have anything to add to that? Maybe a more recent update than I have?
There we go. I think the one thing we want to add to that, Debbie, is that we're also doing this year a Positive Peace Global Grant in the United States, which will involve Rotaractors, 25 Rotaract clubs from at least our 2 zones, and we may have to go beyond that because we need Rotaract clubs with at least, I believe, 7 active participants to make this work. So thank you, Ralph, for bringing this up. Our district is literally on the cutting edge of leading the positive peace effort, at least in our area.
Super.
I'm not going to steal Beth's thunder with youth service, but certainly our youth exchange program is a positive peace initiative all on its own. I've heard children come back to saying, you know, I don't know how we could ever have a war with this country because they have made those personal connections. And that's part of what happens with positive peace as well. Do any of you have any questions? Are there things you'd like to talk about? We've got time. Anything you'd like to know?
JR from Oak Ridge, he wants to mention he's got his 8-year-old son, and he says it's a little crazy there, but he says to remember that Elaine Bunick and Ann Dunthorne are their rock stars from Rotary Club of Oak Ridge because they're into the global grants and other district grants too.
They've done things with COVID locally. They're doing things in Mexico. They just have boundless energy, and we appreciate them so much. And talk about being able to leverage a dollar. Those 2 ladies can do it.
Okay, is that a wrap, Debbie?
That is a wrap.
Okay, Greg, we're going to poll them now about the 2 sessions this morning, so don't leave us yet. And while he's putting that up, I just want to say, you know, I know the ball game's going on, and I'm going to have mine playing on the phone, and just so I know what the score is, but I do hope you'll come back and join us at 12:30 and stretch your legs, do some calisthenics so you can stay awake for this afternoon, because we are going to talk about youth service and we're going to talk about public image, and I think you'll learn a lot. So
Beth, on number 2 on the poll, it's not a more or less choice, it's a yes or no. So you might want to tell us what it is that, do you want us to respond or less?
There was a third.
It went away again. That came up and went away, the survey.
Who's hitting the?
Okay.
Control, not me.
Okay. It's supposed to say more or less, or it's just right. So something got messed up there. So let's say if you want more, it's yes, and if you want less, it's no.
Oh, wait.
Now, okay, now it's at the bottom. There it is,
Okay.
the third one. There's the right one.
There's 4 questions. There's 4 questions.
Okay. But, all right. So 2 of them got typed in twice.
Well, I just typed what you sent me.
I'm sure I didn't type anything twice. Okay. It's okay, Greg. Greg, you've done so much. We thank you tremendously.
That's all right.
Yeah, you're a good one.
Don't cut my pay, though.
He said he was the tech puke. I don't know about that. That sounds bad.
Well, I don't know. Tech puke, you know.
It sounds bad.
That's a northern term, puke, you know.
So, and all these folks are available if you if you need to talk with them about their area of expertise in the district, they'd be glad to help you. Any of us will. If we don't know, we'll point you in the right direction. So it's a great presentation, Debbie and Shelley as well. So thank you so much.
Okay, we still got a few more people to vote.
Okay. Yay, Debbie. Thanks to all our governors being on here too. We're appreciative of you, Cindy and Ron and Al. Okay, so they liked it, it looks like. All right, more training, okay. Some say it's just right, but at least it's not less. Okay. Great. I'm glad you liked it. Sounds good. Thank you, Greg. All right, we're gonna pause, and Greg, do they have to have a new link for the second one?
No, it'll work. Same link is good.
Okay. All right. So we'll see y'all at 12:30.
Okay, see y'all.
Okay.
Great job, everyone.